Hello children, I can hear you. What happened to your voice? Why is it so feeble? Are you hungry? No. Then what happened? Nothing. Very good. I found that someone is missing in the class. Who is it? What happened to her? She went to hospital. Why? Oh, her mother is not well, so she went to take care of her mother. Very good. You should also do that, okay? You should also take care of your parents. What do you do with that, children? Yes, good. Okay, so only one is missing in the class. Everyone else is present. Very good. So you're all good children. You're very eager to learn your chapters, right? Okay. Do you remember what lesson did we discuss in the last class? Yes. A beautiful poem by Sarojini Naidu, Song of a Dream. Did you read it in your home? Did you enjoy and like the poem? Yes. How many of you like the poem? Good. So today we have planned to discuss a new chapter from a new unit. Are you ready to do that? Yes. So today we are going to discuss the unit, and the unit name is Bonds of Love. What is it, children? Yes, Bonds of Love. I shall show you a picture and you should observe the picture and tell me what you found from the picture or what idea did you get from the picture. Will you do that, children? Okay. So children, this is your picture. Is it visible to you? Okay. What can you see from the picture? What all things do you observe from the picture? Yes, you saw pigeons, then earth, then people holding their hands around. Very good. You can see what all things here? You can see pigeon, you can see people with hands tied around, and you can see the universe or the earth. And what are they doing? They are tying their hands around. And what does that signify? Dove. Yes, dove signifies peace. Then, okay, love. Then people tying their hands together signifies? Yes, all together, unity, peace, then love. Very good. So, it is clear from the picture that in this unit, Bonds of Love, what we are going to discuss in our chapters? Yes, we are going to discuss about love, unity and peace. Predominantly love. So, you have one more picture over here. Yes. What can you see from this picture? Yes, the people are lighting candles over there. And these two pictures are in your textbook actually, and you can see in the beginning of the unit. And in the second picture, we can see the people are lighting the candles, and above that we can see a two-line, and it is called as a haiku. Do you know what is a haiku? It is called as a haiku. And haiku is a Japanese way of poem or writing poem, and it is actually of two lines. It is their method of writing things and expressing their things in a simple form of lines. That is, it contains almost around 2 or 3 lines, and it is called as haiku, and it is usually it is practiced in Japan. And here above the picture we have a haiku, and it is written as, what is written as, lighting one candle with another candle spring the evening. Lighting one candle with another candle spring the evening. Here we can see candles being lit from the other candle. So we can imagine that this light spread from the candle is what? Love. And this candle of love is spreading love to other candles so that it reaches all over the earth and universe. So the main aim is it spreads love through lights of candle. So this is the meaning of the haiku. This also signifies the essence of a unit, means love, bonds of love. We now know that we are going to discuss about bonds of love or love. So, we know in this universe there are different kinds of love, isn't it? Yes. So for today, shall we discuss about parental love? Okay, very good. So, let me ask you a question. Do you love your father or mother? You love your mother? Okay. You love both of them? You love your father? Okay. Then anybody is there who don't like your parents? Very good. So you all love your parents, but some have more affection towards your mother, or some have more affection towards your father. It's quite common. Usually it is said that daughters have more affection towards their father and son have more affection towards their mother. But it's all under the sun. You all love your parents, but it ranges or it varies in some cases. And do you think that everyone in this world are fortunate enough to get parental love? Yes, exactly. Not all are fortunate enough to get their parental love. So you are getting your parents' love. But can you imagine the positions, or can you imagine the mental state or situations of those who are not happy or not fortunate to get their parents' love? At least one parent's love. What would be their condition? It would be terrible, right? They may have lost their parents in different situations or different things. They may have lost their parents, or they may have their parents, but they may not be fortunate to get their love. Or in some cases, there are children who are not even seeing their parents. So there are different types of people living around who are being unfortunate to not get their parents. So today we are going to discuss, or we are going to read a beautiful anecdote. Do you know what is an anecdote? Okay, let's see what is an anecdote. We're going to learn a beautiful or a heart-touching anecdote written by Lilika Nakos, a Greek writer. So, who's their author? Yes, Lilika Nakos. And the chapter's name is Maternity. What is it, children? Yes, maternity. What is the chapter's name? Maternity. And who is the author? Yes, Lilika Nakos. So we are going to discuss about, it is clear from the title that it is all about maternal love, maternity, mother's love. So shall we see who is our author? Shall we go into deep? And in between I also told you a term, anecdote, right? Anybody know what is an anecdote? Anecdote. Okay, kind of story. Okay, then. Okay, fictional, not, okay, not like that. Any other guesses? You're almost real to it, but I'll say an anecdote means a real life story or a real life incident. Have the author details, that is author profile. Author name is Lilika Nakos. Her life period is from 1903 to 1989. Nationality Greek, and by profession she is a Greek novelist, journalist, a short story writer, and one of her famous works is Stories of the Great Famine in Greece. Stories of the Great Famine in Greece. So here is our author, and author name is Lilika Nakos, and during that time, for a long time, there was no other woman writer so powerful like her in Greece, and she was a Greek writer as well as a Greek activist. So today we are going to discuss the chapter Maternity, anecdote, a real life story by Lilika Nakos. Before that, I would like to show you a picture plus a video, and I would like to know how many of you can identify the picture. Can anyone identify the picture? No? Yes, you know the picture. Okay, you don't know the boy's name. Good. At least you identify the picture. Yes. Okay, you know that he was a Yes, refugee boy. Yes, found dead in a seashore. So at least you know these things. You have general knowledge. Very good, children. So it is a picture of a boy whose name is Alan Kurdi, and he was actually found dead. Very pathetic, very sad situation it was. He was found dead in the seashore while he was trying to escape with a family. Okay, so accompanied with this picture, I would like to show you a video which will give you a more details of the situation. Shall we go into the video?
Nothing has captured this crisis like the picture that we began with last night. The 3-year-old Syrian boy who washed up, drowned on a Turkish beach. Today, Holly Williams learned the rest of his story. It's hard to watch, but it should be seen.
The little boy whose lifeless body was washed ashore now has a name. Aylan Kurdi was 3 years old when he lost his life crossing the Mediterranean Sea to Europe. His 5-year-old brother Galip and their mother also drowned in a desperate attempt to find a better life. Aylan's father Abdullah survived, and today he collected the bodies of his wife and young sons from the morgue. The waves were so high and the captain panicked and jumped into the sea, he said. I took my wife and children in my arms, but they were all dead. They fled the Syrian town of Kobani, which was decimated when ISIS tried to seize it earlier this year, leaving nearly everyone there homeless. Abdullah's sister, Timi Kurdi, who lives in Vancouver, said she gave the family money to pay a human smuggler.
His wife told me on the phone a week ago. I'm so scared of the water. I don't know how to swim. If something happened.
Over 300,000 people have attempted the dangerous journey to Europe this year, and more than 2,000 have paid with their lives, including many other children whose names we don't know. But it's these images of Aylan Kurdi that have finally brought the tragedy home to people in Europe and pricked the conscience of European leaders. Abdullah Kurdi will cross back into Syria tomorrow to bury his wife and 2 young sons. And Scott, a friend of the family, told us they paid around $4,000 to be smuggled to Europe, but then did not have enough money to buy life jackets.
Holly Williams, thanks.
So, you saw the video of Alan Kurdi, who was a 3-year-old Syrian boy who was trying to escape and find a place in the European nation Canada with his parents and his mother and brother, but unfortunately drowned in the Mediterranean Sea and was found dead in the seashore. So, in that age, he was trying to escape with his family and find a happy life somewhere else in some other nation and as a refuge. And today we are going to deal with a life in a refugee camp and the loss of the maternal love that the children in those camps are experiencing. So shall we move into the story? Okay, for that I request you all to close your textbooks and I'll read once. After that you may open your textbooks and read by yourself and mark the difficult words. So shall we move into it? It was more than a month since they were at Marcellus. The camp of Armenian refugees on the outskirts of the town already looked like a small village. They had settled down in any way that they could. The richest under the tents, the others in the ruined sheets, but the majority of the refugees have found nothing better, were sheltered under the carpets held up at the four corners by the sticks. They thought themselves lucky if they could find a sheet to hang up at the sides and ward from the peering eyes. Then they felt almost at home. The men found work no matter what, so that in any case they were not racked with hunger and their children had something to eat. So, in the first 2 paragraphs, what can we see? Yes, it is a refugee camp. The story is taking place in an Armenian refugee camp in Marcellus. Where? Yes, very good children. The story is taking place in an Armenian refugee camp near Marcellus. Armenian refugee camp. Do you know where is this Marcellus? Do you know where is this Marcellus? Yes. No? Can you make more guesses? It's not Russia. Any other guesses? No? It's not UK? Okay. Good for your guessing. But it is actually Marcellus is a city, it's a place near France. So here we can see an Armenian camp located in the outskirts. Outskirts means not city area. It is almost a area outside the city. And what can we observe? What are the condition of the people over there? Was it very good? Are they happy there? No, exactly, you're right. They were not happy. Is there any discrimination between the people there? No. Very good, children. Actually, there was no discrimination among the people. There were actually no rich people, no poor people. Nobody wanted a luxurious life. Nobody wanted to live in a big house. But only thing they wanted to have was to sleep somewhere, to find a home-like atmosphere, and to find or have food to eat. So here we can see that though there were not much discrimination, the rich people somehow found a accommodation or a place under the tent. While some other people, where did they sleep? Yes, they slept under the ruined sheets. Ruined, what do you mean by ruined? Yes, destroyed or almost decayed state. So some people found accommodation or they slept under the ruined sheets. While what did other people do, children? Yes, very good, exactly. Some people lived under the carpets which were put forth using the sticks in the four corners. So, the people somehow adjusted. Actually, they only wanted to keep their life ahead. They never wanted to live in a luxurious life. So, let's see the next paragraph. What we can see in the next paragraph. Yes, they never wanted, we already mentioned, they never wanted a luxurious life. They found themselves lucky even if they got a sheet to protect themselves so that nobody else or the nearby one won't peer. Peer means look or gaze at without any disturbance. So they found very happy if they get at least a small piece of sheet to protect themselves from others' eyes and a crumbs of food to make their children alive. So all they wanted is shelter and food. Is it clear? Okay. We shall move into the next paragraph. Of all of them, Mikhaili alone could not do nothing. He ate the stale bread which his neighbor cared to offer, and it weighed on him, for he was a big lad of 14, healthier and robust. But how could he think of looking for work when he literally bore on his back the burden of a new babe? Since his birth, which had caused his mother's death, he had been proclaiming his famished state from the mortal night. We would have accepted Mikhaili's services when some companions had chased him from the quarters because they were unable to bear the uninterrupted howls which kept them awake at night. So, from this paragraph, we can understand or who can we identify, who can be the main character of this chapter. Yes, Mikhaili. So, in this chapter, the author introduces us the major character or protagonist of the story, Mikhaili, and he is a 14-year-old boy. He was actually a well-built boy, but now he's very tired. And what makes him more tired and more unhealthy is he has a burden in his back. What is that burden, children? Yes, he had a burden of a newborn baby in his back. He was carrying a newborn baby in his back like we are carrying a bag in his back. So, what can you understand about that newborn baby and Mikhaili from the paragraph? Look, where did they have parents? Did they have mother? Yes, no. When the baby was born, Mikali and both the baby lost their mother. So now they lack their own country, food, proper shelter, along with their mother love, maternal love, because their mother is no more. It is very sad, right? Actually, they have lost everything. Now we can understand that they have also lost their mother, and they were unable to find. Mikali was unable to find at least a few crumbs of food for him, because wherever he goes, he's carrying a baby in his bag. So when he went to one camp or one tent, the people actually used to chase him away because there's a baby in his bag. That baby would be a burden for them also. As the baby is burden for Mikali, the baby can be a burden for others also. So they usually not try to feed Mikali or give food for them. So he was altogether very tired, and particularly tired of the burden of a baby newborn baby that he is carrying on his back. So shall we move into the next paragraph? Is it clear? So who is the protagonist or who is the main character? Yes, Mikali is a 14-year-old boy. Mikali himself was dazed by these cries. His head was empty and he wandered about like a lost soul, dying from lack of sleep and weariness. Always dragging about with him the deafening burden that he had been born for his misfortune and its own, and that had been so badly chosen the moment to appear on the earth. Everybody listened to it with irritation. They had so many troubles of their own, and they all pitifully wished it would die. So what is the scene here? This baby is actually not only becoming a burden for Mikali, but also the co-camp mates, because it was always crying and it had nothing to eat. Both Mikali and the child has nothing to eat. It kept on crying and it was actually becoming a burden for others. And they may have feeling to feed the baby. But what can they do? They have nothing left in their hands. So they wished at least the baby is dead so that they can be free from that burden of seeing Mikali carrying the baby, and they can also be free from the consciousness of feeding those child. So is it clear? Okay. In the next page, you can, while opening your textbook, you can see there is a picture of Mikali carrying the baby in his back as a burden. So shall we move into the next paragraph? Is it clear? Okay. But that did not happen, for the newborn child sought desperately to live and cry louder his famished head stayed. The distracted women stuffed their ears, and Mikali wandered about like a drunken man. He had a penny in his pocket to buy the infant milk, and not one woman in the camp was in a position to give it the rest, enough to drive one mad. So let's see what a pitiful condition Mikali was continuing to have. He was carrying the baby in his back. He was moving there and here. He couldn't find at least a crumb of bread. And nobody, there were feeding mothers in the camp. There are other children, there were feeding mothers in the camp. But due to this tiredness, due to their poverty, due to the unhealthy situation and weakness, nobody in the camp was in a situation to feed this baby too. They have breast milk, they are mothers, but unfortunately they are not in a condition to feed that child too. So Mikali was going here and there like a beggar. He was actually driven into a state of madness, and he was becoming a mad one, carrying the burden of a baby in his back. So can you imagine the situation? Can you place yourself in that situation? What will you do? What will be your reaction? Will you be able to carry out the situation? Okay, so there is actually, this is a real life incident. We can imagine this is happening all over the world now. There are nations like this. There are refugee camps like this. There are people, there are children like this wandering for love, care, food and shelter. So in this situation, let's pray to God that at least we are happy like this, and pray for those children also. And I hope these 4 paragraphs are clear for you. Do you have any doubts? Okay, go through your textbooks and you may find difficult words, and let's discuss next. So shall we move into the glossary? Is it clear?